Colombia Bitaco Green Tea. I just had the white tea, and that was okay. I almost never drink from not glass in these videos, but I figured why not give it a shot. It's glazed, so it shouldn't give any flavor. And it's been a little bit since I used this cup, and it's pretty important to me, I guess. I saw it in the cupboard and I thought, let's go for it. So we're gonna brew this up as the control method, with the control method, 1 to 75, boiling water, 2 minutes. So for green tea, definitely not ideal. We're gonna go through it anyway. And then we're gonna see if we have a second infusion. I have a lot of the tea, so. It smells very fruity and very creamy. Sticky. It smells sticky. And what's sticky about that? There's like this kind of custardy. So, okay. If you juice watermelon and you put it in the fridge and you drink it the next day, a lot of what you associate with watermelon in that it's fresh, I think it has a really good balance between having like a really crisp edge to the freshness, and it just gets like super cloyingly sweet when you juice it. And I would say this smells just about as sweet as watermelon juice does. And in a similar way. Now, if it's not watermelon, it's honeydew. But anyway, it's some kind of melon that is juiced. What else is there? I'm not sure. The color of the leaf is a dusty green. There's a bit of a, so what kind of green, you ask? It is, I would guess you'd compare it to dark olive green with a bluish tinge to it, and bluish gray tinge. There is also a olive yellow color in there, and there is a white. That's the bud. The bud is not many, probably less than 5%. Mostly it is the dark olive blue, and then there is, maybe less than 10% is the olive yellow. Yeah, mostly it just smells fruity. Let's see what happens when we put it in a wet container. Stays fruity. I kind of want to say musty, but yeah, it's so sweet smelling, like pungently, cloyingly sweet smelling. And green, and it's bordering on the flavor where I might say it's green guava juice, but it's not there. It's not there. I'm gonna pause this until the water's ready. Okay. Alexa, start a timer for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, starting now.
Okay. First smells are fishy. That happens a lot. Like if you bake a white fish and some of it gets burned or falls through the wire rack because you planned out properly, you didn't plan it properly, and it falls near the heating element in the bottom, and then while your fish is baking you have a piece which is just burning. You could also compare that if you like try to barbecue a fish and if it falls through the grill. Interesting. Actually, I had a green tea earlier today that was pretty similar in that regard. Fishy, and so there's this one maybe a little bit more distinct than the other one, but there's a green smell that is like when you go into the seafood section of like a supermarket, there's this fishy smell in the air. It's not really fish, seafood in general, and like the tanks where there's crabs and that kind of water. Yeah, this is pretty close to where the crab tanks are. That kind of smell you get from like all of the mussels on the ice and the clams on the ice and stuff like that, I guess. Alexa, stop. I do suspect that the aroma will change a lot now, and I won't smell that anymore. But let's have a look. Interesting. It's true, I don't smell that anymore. What is the new smell? It's unique that this comes from green tea, because mostly, like, it starts green, then it goes into brown, then it goes into spice, and twice now I'm taken into like this pepperoni zone. I'm gonna try to ignore the pepperoni zone and see what else happens. But I'm sucked right back into it. Yeah, it's like the aroma's on tracks. You cannot escape where it ultimately leads you. Well, I like pepperoni. I do. Probably more than the average person does. I've had my fair share in life. But it's weird that it comes from green tea. It's probably a temperature thing. There's a little bit of a pungency to it. Ah, okay, another supermarket aroma. Now it's like you're in the very specifically Asian supermarkets and you're in the fruit aisle. Fruit and vegetable. There's something there. It's not the herbal section. I'm very vividly thinking about one supermarket right now called Hong Kong Supermarket on 17th Avenue in Forest Lawn. This is like the area of the grocery, so it's in the back. It's where the lotus is, it's where the eggplant is, it's where you find potato, other root vegetables, and rhizomes and stuff like that. So something like that. It's something in that section that gives a certain smell. I couldn't say what it is, but it smells like that. The pepperoni's gone. Maybe that was just because the water was, again, because it was so hot, and especially smelling the hot water. Interesting. Unlike the white tea, where there was this really big texture to kind of cover up stuff, this doesn't have that. So, like immediately I was bitter, astringent. The color is kind of cloudy, yellowish green. Um, let's have a look. I mean, the clarity is, very, very clear, but there is a haze in there that gives it somewhat of a mute look. It's not bright and shiny. That fruitiness that I could smell in the leaf, you can still see it in here. It is a taste component that it has. And I think I might argue that it's the main taste component, except that the physical sensation that you get from it being too astringent and too bitter, it kind of covers that up. And so that's not the first thing that you think of. The flavor is not the first thing that you think of. You think more about the feeling. Pardon me. And I think it's just, I think, as I said, the control method for brewing these teas is certainly not ideal. I'm sure the water is probably 20 degrees too hot. I've pulled out too much of those things, the bitterness and astringency, by steeping for 2 minutes. Maybe the 2 minutes is probably okay, but the temperature anyway should be lower by quite a bit from what I did. And I suspect that it will taste better if I do that, and I will. And there is a slickness to it, like a film, an oiliness, but it's not. It doesn't really help it very much. It doesn't show well. Okay, well, to think about the graph. Concentration of flavor is like a 2. Aroma is like a 4. Astringency, five. Pretty strong. The weight is a 3. Finish. 3. And then the leaf. Beef and basil. 100%. This smells like pho, this smells like broth, it smells like beef soup. Which is a very good smell for me. It can be brewed better than this, I believe. And let's pause for now. I'll get set up to do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, water cooling down from boiling. Not really boiling, like sitting for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I would estimate this is probably 70 degrees Celsius, which is pretty good for what I want. So let's do it 1.5 minutes. Alexa, start a timer for 1.5 minutes.
1 minute and 30 seconds. Starting now.
Okay. This should hopefully take down the bitterness and astringency a lot and help maybe decrease the meatiness of it as well. Though, if that's a core flavor, then that won't change. I think this will be better. I'm gonna pause until that is done steeping. Okay, Alexa, stop. Video 撮りますよ、アリスちゃん。ちょっと静かにしてくださいね。So this smells more like the leaf. It's got that sweetness, that fruitiness, green plants and some kind of juice. And this one is more like the guava juice to me than the leaf was. If you smell super hard, then you can maybe get some semblance of a fishiness, but you have to look. It doesn't like stand out like it did the first time. It's also a lot more focused. The flavor is, it's not bitter. It's not astringent at the beginning. Kind of comes at the end a little bit. It's brewed too weak, I would say. I would like to try double the strength of this. And I'll do that next. Yeah, I still have plenty to go. At this current form, I would say it's just lacking power. It's showing well. The technique is good, just needs to be stronger. Okay, so concentration 5 out of 10. Aroma is 5 out of 10. Astringency 2. Finish 4. And the weight 5. Close to 6, but still 5. Okay, see you soon. Okay, so the bread machine running. This is just out of my tolerance to hold it forever. Like maybe now I have to let go. When I put it into this container, it should be no problem. So I've decided So this is 1 to 37.5, 1 gram to milliliters, 1 minute steep. Okay. Alexa, start a timer for 1 minute.
1 minute. Starting now.
I feel like this will be the best. There's a small chance that 1 minute and a half might be better. The reason why I dialed it back is adding in so much tea, it gives more opportunity for astringency and stuff to show up. And I just wanted to, manage that. And I think that less time will probably do that for me. It's a fine-tuning thing, but anyway, still rather it be. This is the last of the tea I have, so. This one is, it has a lot more, because it's the last part of the bag, there's a lot more fine leaf size in this one. Smells good. Alexa, stop. Okay. So we got here an olive yellow. Plants, sweet. Creamy, grassy, like oysters, like West Coast oysters with sugar. Weird. West Coast oysters with guava juice, guava jelly. But it's got that grassiness. That's the thing I'm talking about with the oysters, especially. Let's see. It's better. Could it be better than this? I feel like there's room a little bit, not by much. Surely there's a cap on how much flavor it could have, and I think I can see that we're stretching the balloon. The balloon is inflating. Yes, it could go a bit further, but we might pop the tube. Concentration is like a 7. Aroma is an 8. Finish is a 6. Astringency 3. Weight 6, 7, 6. I don't think this is capable of getting to 10 out of 10. No matter how much tea leaf you use, there's always going to be astringency. It's a quality thing. There's always going to be low finish. It's a quality thing. I believe with a little bit more leaf. So this is 1 to 37, maybe 1 to 30, or 1 to 34, and maybe with another 30 seconds of steeping time, maybe you could get the aroma to 10 out of 10. But I don't think that the flavor would follow up with it. I don't think they're capable of being equal because of a quality thing. But I think this is really good, especially when you brew it like this. I would love to try to eat this with pho. Just not even pho, just thinly sliced shabu shabu kind of boiled beef. Because when you boil it, I think it gets a little bit sweet. Yeah. Anyway, thank you.